You may think you've seen everything that comic book movies have to offer, but believe me, you've never seen anything like this. While other blockbusters try and anchor their heroes in the real world, mixing the ordinary with the extraordinary, Marvel Studios are taking the movie rulebook and blasting it into outer space. And I'm going to be slap bang in the middle of it, as I'm given exclusive access behind the scenes of what must surely be the riskiest and boldest summer film in a long, long time.
2, 1, go!
Hello and welcome to this Sky Movie special where, as you can see, we are quite literally behind the scenes on what is set to be one of the biggest movies of the year, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, we've been given an Access All Areas pass to wander around this vast set today and leave no stone unturned in our quest for knowledge about this film. And just in case you don't know what Guardians of the Galaxy is already, take a look at this.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Dave Bautista. Action!
I think the core of Guardians, they're just a bunch of misfits.
Vin Diesel, Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm Groot.
They define friendship on a galactic level.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Karen Gillan.
Y esto es una entrevista para Guardians, los Guardianes de la Galaxia. You're gonna have to put all the subtitles.
Chris Pratt.
There's one other name you might know me by. Star-Lord.
Who?
Forget it. They're the most unlikely heroes in the universe. I guess we're stuck together. Partners.
Guy movies, Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn. They find each other, hate each other, and like any good romantic comedy, they eventually sort of fall in love, only without the love kissy part.
They call themselves the Guardians of the Galaxy.
What a bunch of a-holes.
So that's just a taste of what audiences are going to get when they hitch a ride into outer space with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Of course, the reality behind the fantasy isn't always as amazing as it looks on screen, although this might just be the exception to the rule. Which is what brings me to Longcross Studios today. My first port of call is the man behind the mayhem, director James Gunn.
Good to go? 1, 2, and 2. All right, mate. James Gunn, first of all, thank you so much for having us down here today.
I'm excited to have you guys here. It's great to show off our set. You know, we have a lot of, visitors come and visit us, and it's always one of my favorite parts of making this movie.
You've let us hang around and watch what's going down tonight. What is this scene?
Well, what the scene is we're going to have our characters come out of that hole. They've just come out of the Collector's Museum, which something has gone terribly wrong, and they're going to come out of the street. They get into a fight over what to do with this orb that is worth a lot of money. And they come out to find that Drax has betrayed them, not because he wants to get back at them, but because he just wants to fight, and he's about to get his wish, and it's probably not going to turn out the way that he hopes it does.
Background action. Background action.
At last, I shall meet my foe and destroy him.
You called Ronan?
Stand behind me. You may write of this tale in your storybooks so that future generations shall delight in its telling.
To me, standing here, this looks huge. How big is this in comparison to some of the other stuff you've been shooting, what you're doing tonight?
We have, I guess, 3 or 4 sets that are about this big. And in my head, it's much bigger because all that green screen, all this stuff, this is inside of a giant skull that's floating in outer space. And these miners mine the inside of the skull. So they mine for spinal fluid, they mine for, bone shards and things that they sell off to different people around the galaxy.
And I love the fact that you say that, and that's like, you're in this world now. They sell off bone shards.
That's what they do. That's just what it is.
To the uninitiated, they're going, they
what
mine
the hell?
a floating skull.
Yeah.
Because this is that movie. This is like the craziest Marvel have ever gone. This is the craziest, like, any movie I think has ever gone. You've got a tree that talks, you've got a raccoon.
People think it's crazy. To me, it's just normal, everyday, inside my head stuff, so I don't think of it as crazy. I think of a talking tree and a talking raccoon as totally normal.
Sanity is the refuge of cowards!
That must be exciting to have Marvel have your back so much with something that is, I imagine, on paper, quite a scary prospect for them because it is so different to what's happened before.
Yeah, I mean, I think that really, honestly, yeah, and people have come up to me and they say, oh, this has got to be the biggest risk that Marvel ever took. And I'm like, no way. I mean, the biggest risk they ever took was Iron Man. I mean, because that was a character, yeah, some people knew who Iron Man was, but a lot of people didn't. More people didn't than did. And if you sold, you know, just a ticket to everybody who bought an Iron Man comic book, it wouldn't be that many tickets. So I think that Marvel has gotten the freedom to flex their muscles a little bit and try some new adventures and some new ways, you know, to new types of movies. And I think that's what this is.
Right, well, listen, I'm going to let you prepare for this scene. James,
Cool.
a pleasure
Thanks.
talking
Great
to
meeting
you,
you.
man.
Great
Thank
meeting
you
you.
very
Take care.
much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
As with any movie on this kind of scale, many of the finer points are being kept strictly under wraps. In fact, they're even shooting the film under the super secret codename Full Tilt, although we're probably not meant to know that either. But having said that, everyone on set seems absolutely fine with the Sky Movies crew just hanging out for the day. Perhaps they don't realize we're filming their every move.
Did you guys meet Michael Rooker?
I don't, oh,
We have a lot of good.
Excuse me, I didn't
a lot
know
of
that.
good. We got a lot of good actors in this movie, and then we have Michael Rooker.
Right. The best part is, I was involved in the casting. Kind of.
Right. And that you came in and we
Well,
said, not good enough. Let's get
Well,
somebody.
that's
who's-
right.
who's
Well, at
better.
least you spoke to me.
Yeah.
Normally, he doesn't speak.
Not long. With the passing right over.
It's almost time for my interview with Star-Lord himself, Chris Pratt. And as I wait, my mind can't help drifting back to some words of wisdom from director James Gunn earlier in the day.
You've got Chris Pratt. How is it working with him? I'm a huge fan of his work.
Yeah, he's a real talented guy, but
I needn't have worried. It seems Chris Pratt is as excited as I am to be here.
Right, yeah, of course. Brilliant. And here we go. Chris Pratt,
Yes, sir.
fantastic to see you, man. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good.
Really happy to be here.
Well, I bet. I mean, I say that. It's nearly 10 p.m. and you've got a long night ahead, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we're working nights here. This is the set of what's called Nowhere, with a K, K-N-O-W, where?
Yeah.
Which is it's hard to understand that joke if you don't see it on the page. But
Two questions. First of all, just how awesome is it being in a Marvel movie, and how awesome is it being in this Marvel movie?
to answer both your questions.
Okay.
Awesome. And awesome. How awesome? Very awesome. You know, we're not limited to like, okay, this is going to be Chicago. We're going to destroy Chicago, or we're going to destroy London, and the big, you know, these are worlds that no one's ever heard of outside of the few people who have read about them in the comic books. Every little detail is all from the imagination of really spectacular artists, and so that's what makes this way better than all the other Marvel movies. Suck it.
If I can be so bold, you look great, man.
Thanks, dude.
So you've really sort of worked out for this role, am I right?
Yeah, what they said to me was, just something about you, it just seems like you're Peter Quill. I was like, wow, great. And they said, but you don't look like him. Is that good? It's been 8 months. I've been training for 8 months. It's crazy. I've never done anything for 8 months. The only thing I've ever done for 8 months, or more than 8 months, was like develop as a fetus. I think that was like the longest I've committed to something, was just to go from a sperm and an egg into a human child. That took about 9 months. Other than that, it's like 2 weeks at a time for me. So to go 8 months straight is pretty hardcore.
And now, I know you're really busy. I'll let you get on. One final question. Just walking out there and seeing all this going on, how does that feel when you sort of walk onto a set? Because I've been on a fair few movie sets, and this is huge.
Yeah.
And when you sort of come out and see that and go, this is my job for the next 6 hours.
Yeah.
What's that like?
You know, it's. Hey, buddy, this is our director, James.
We know. We already talked.
Oh, you did?
You know, one of the things is, I was so excited when Chris Pratt came to be our lead star. He's one of the greatest. Chris Pratt came to become our lead star because Chris Pratt became our lead star because he really is one of my favorite actors. And you know, I've watched Chris Pratt on The Office for many years, and he's really just been a really good, you know, actor. You know, good at acting and stuff.
Oh man, that means so much to me.
Yeah.
Thank you for the compliments.
You're welcome.
We'll work.
I'll
we'll
work
work.
with your Chris.
It's Parks and. It's okay. We're probably gonna end up changing my name to Crip by the end of this because he just can't get it right, and that's okay.
Man, I can't wait to see it. It's been a
Thanks,
pleasure
dude.
talking
I appreciate
to you.
it, man.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
dude.
you got it.
Well, there you have it. I hope your thirst for knowledge has been sated. And if you want to know any more, probably just go watch the movie. But from behind the scenes here on Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, it's goodbye.